Hello traders, Mark P. Markets here. My name is Mark Principato and I'm a chartered market technician, and thank you for joining me for another exclusive Bitcoin video analysis here for FX Empire. So in this session, I'm going to talk about this current price action that we're looking at here in Bitcoin and see what kind of clues it is showing us for the coming days, and what this means in terms of trying to buy this pullback. Okay, so with that said, let's get started. This is for educational purposes only. For investment advice, please consult a licensed investment advisor. Also, if you'd like to know more about what I do and our swing trade strategy, check out greenbridgeinvesting.com. You'll find a link in the description portion of this analysis. Okay, so let's talk about Bitcoin here. We had that break of 40K. So there's two important points that I'm going to make about this chart right now, because there are a lot of questions we're getting about buying the pullback. And there are a lot of people, if you look in public places like Twitter, that are all talking about buying the pullback, buying the pullback. When you see everyone doing the same thing like that, that's a red flag. Okay, you have to think in contrarian terms. The crowd is usually wrong, especially at turning points. When you see public information like that and everyone is doing the same thing, you have to think twice about it, number one. Number two, 40K was a very important support area. Okay, it was the short-term trend support. This is the, as I zoom out here, you're seeing the bigger picture trend. But over the near term, okay, basically going back a few months, that was the 40K was a very important support level. And I talked about this before. If it cleared 40K, then it was changing its short-term trend. Now, it doesn't mean that it's bearish, but most likely what this means is we are in a range-bound environment, or basically a broad wave 4. I've talked about that wave 4 in many of my videos, so you should go back and check that out, but you should know what that is by now. So in a wave 4 environment, we're going to see a lot of false starts, a lot of false breakouts, a lot of noise, and it's going to confuse a lot of people. So you have to keep that in mind. It's very important to lower your expectations. So what we're doing with our swing trade strategy, for one, is we have not bought into this pullback. Okay, right now 30K is the support. That's the range low support, or basically right now the wave 4 support. But look at this price action right here. All right, when we got this buy signal the other day, first of all, the risk was too big. This was about 8,000 points of risk. The average risk on our recent trades has been somewhere between 3,000 and 5,000 points. 8,000 is a little high. It's hard to justify that risk. So we stayed away from this, number one. Number two, if you took the inside bar break, which was the buy signal, this candle right here is not what you should see after such a break. You should not see a long tail on top of the candle. That means lack of follow through, okay, which means the bearish momentum is still likely intact. So over the next few days, I'm anticipating another test of 30K. Now, will it break 30K? There's no way to know. But if we get a reversal around 30K, I would be open to a swing trade long at such a level if I get the proper setup. If it breaks through 30K, you have to step aside, okay? So again, it's all about waiting for confirmation. You can't just step in front of these things at a level, because a lot of times it's random. So we have to see. But if this momentum stays intact, there's a chance that we could break 30K. If we break it, we're looking at like 26K, or maybe even the lower 20s is where the next support is. So we have to see where this thing finds that wave 4 support. Okay, where it overlaps wave 1, by the way, is around 15K or 12K or whatever it is, way back. You can see it way back here. All right, so that's not in play right now, so I'm not worried about that. But again, we have to, the way we're going to play this is we're going to look to identify that wave 4 bottom and try to get a buy signal, or try to get into a buy signal when that bottom develops and we get confirmation. So right now, that level is 30K, but like I said, I have to repeat myself. If 30K breaks, then we're looking at lower numbers, so you can't step in front of it. Everyone's anxious to buy the pullback. Now, the other thing you have to keep in mind is if this breaks, the altcoins are going to follow. So far, the altcoins have proven to be followers. They don't trade on their own. They're just one big Bitcoin trade. So use this as a gauge. If you're in a bunch of altcoins, you're basically in one big Bitcoin trade. Okay, so it's something to keep in mind here. If you were one of those that got lured into buying the pullback and you're like hoping right now, I'm basically giving you some ideas so that you can make some adjustments, okay? Risk is the priority, and that's what we always tell our members. Risk first, all right? And the risk right now is there's just first of all, there's nothing here. There's no reason to buy this thing right now. We're waiting for the pullback, and we need a better reward risk based on the type of risk we have to take, and that's defined by the market, not what we feel like risking, okay? So hopefully we can get a setup where it's less than 8,000 points. All right, so I'm going to leave you with that. If you have any questions, you know where to find me, greenbridgeinvesting.com. My name is Mark Principato, Mark P Markets. Thank you very much for watching.